Because this administration, I mean, they figured they can do whatever they want. They can just throw pasta on the wall and see what sticks and what not, because there's no accountability whatsoever.
We want a New Haven, a Connecticut, a nation free from fear. We want a New Haven, a Connecticut, and a nation free from fear.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to the Struggle Video News. You've probably heard about the awful court decision that overruled the New Jersey judge who arranged for the freedom of Mahmoud Khalil. Here's Mahmoud Khalil when I interviewed him last November as he received the Dorothy Day Award in New Haven.
So I have so many now legal cases, unfortunately. So the most recent one from yesterday is actually, it's a lawsuit against the administration to reveal its, I would say, collusion and conspiring with pro-Israel groups like Canary Mission, Betar Worldwide, the other Columbia actors who worked with the government to smear Palestinian activists around the country, to smear Palestinian speech in this country. And we believe that the public deserves to know about these connections, how these connections happened, because all these groups were, announcing that they were collaborating with the federal government to squash the Palestine movement in this country. And here it's part of the effort to expose Project Esther, and a project that's meant to use different obscure laws in the US to come after Palestinian activism in this country, and how they can conflate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. That's I think the essence of Project Esther, how they can demonize Palestinian speech through calling it and fabricate stories about this speech. So this is one of the lawsuits that hopefully will contribute to showing these connections between the administration and these shady groups.
And we have 20 minutes slated for this, so Yumna, throw something at me when we're getting close to the end. So what about the cases against you? They grabbed you off the street and put you in an ICE jail in Louisiana, and then there was a victory in that you were released on bail, but then there was an immigration court decision and then a counter. So tell us about that.
I mean, it's so complicated, but I will try to give the simple version of, there is a kangaroo court called an immigration court. It's fully controlled by the executive branch. They're not real judges. It's not a real process. Literally, the Attorney General controls that process. And I'm saying this because, as even an immigrant myself, but also I realize that most of the public here, they don't know anything about the immigration system in this country. How the executive branch can manipulate that system. And when we hear that it is like court, it's immigration judge, that we think that it is a real process, but it's not. So that process, because it's fully controlled by the administration, they have decided that I am deportable from the United States based on the Rubio determination first, but then when a federal judge said this is unconstitutional, you cannot use this, then they brought alleged, they call it fraud charges about my green card application, which was approved a year before, and there isn't any fraud whatsoever. So now we're also fighting that. And the real case is in New Jersey, a federal case. It's called habeas, which is a First Amendment case. We're saying that the Trump administration was motivated by political reasons to deport me, basically to chill speech across the country, which they partially succeeded, unfortunately, in literally just fear-mongering and punishing others so that whether students or not, whether citizens or immigrants or anyone in this country would fear speaking for Palestine. So when we got the bail, the administration immediately appealed that decision to the to the appeal court. And the appeal court basically rejected their first argument, but now we're waiting to hear a decision from the appeal court as well. And the other case, which is I'm also suing the administration for damages for $20 million for malicious prosecution and for false imprisonment and for defamation for calling me all these names without any sort of evidence. So that's also is ongoing. And the main purpose of that is just to seek accountability. Because this administration, they figured they can do whatever they want. They can just throw pasta on the wall and see what sticks and what not, because there's no accountability whatsoever. So we have to make them feel that there is accountability for everything that they are doing. It's not just, like a court order and that's it. They have to feel that there is consequences for their actions. And these lawsuits, are just a small part of that effort. But the bigger effort is by actually, the community, the people actually raising against this administration to make it pay for all the wrongdoing that they've been doing recently.
And, I talked to a Syrian immigrant and, about the immigration process. And he says, just in the good old days, you had to pass 8 different agencies. They had to look at all your record and examine every fly speck, and then if you could pass every one of them, then you're allowed in. So he was allowed in for all of that, and now they're going through it and basically lying and so on. It is an outrage. The Learned Appeals Panel said that the New Jersey judge didn't have the jurisdiction to make a ruling. The effect on Khalil is uncertain. Lots more legal efforts are ahead, but Trump and his gang want to deport Khalil, and this decision makes that more likely. A different federal judge took a long look at what the administration has been doing and was appalled. The Washington Post article about this said that the judge decried what he said were breathtaking constitutional violations by senior Trump administration officials and called the president an authoritarian who expects everyone in the executive branch to toe the line absolutely. In remarks laced with outrage and disbelief, U.S. District Judge William Young said Donald Trump and top officials have a fearful approach to freedom of speech that would seek to exclude from participation everyone who doesn't agree with them. The judge said that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Secretary of State Marco Rubio engaged in a unconstitutional conspiracy to deprive people of their rights. The administration dismissed him as a left-wing crazy, but this judge was appointed by President Ronald Reagan, considered to be on the right of the conservative spectrum. Scan this QR code to get to the full article. This is a video of unarmed protesters being shot in Iran on January 14th, apparently with live ammunition. The video was posted by Siyavash Shahabi on Facebook. He also posted this video of a crowd on January 8th in Tehran and wrote, "What does a revolution look like? To me, it looks like the moment when a crowd suddenly realizes it's not just that they have nothing left to lose, it's that they are taking the world back. And by world, I mean agency, the right to choose, the right to say no, the right to breathe without needing permission. A revolution is the moment fear stops being privately hoarded and starts getting shared. And once fear is shared, the repression machine stops looking like the one solid monster. It turns into something far more fragile. Exhausted people, panicked commanders, contradictory orders, stray bullets, and lies that crumble like chalk off a cracked wall. Trade unions around the world are asking to send messages of solidarity to Iranian trade unions and to their revolution. Of course, there are always vile so-called left apologists for the Iranian fascists who think hundreds of thousands of Iranians will just rise up at the beck and call of Israel and the U.S. Masses of people have turned out in demonstrations all over the U.S. to demand the abolition of ICE after the murder by ICE of Renee Nicole Good. We'll start with a video from New Haven, Connecticut on the 11th of January.
We can't hear you, I asked! Can we get some noise? Thank you! My name is Andrew Rice, and I'll be your MC for today. I just want to start by thanking each and every one of you for showing up today. We all have busy lives. We all have things we'd rather be doing, but we chose to take the limited time we have to show up in support of our immigrant communities, in support of our fallen citizens, and in support of our communities.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo. ICE out! ICE out! ICE out for good! ICE!
Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. 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 We want a New Haven, a Connecticut, a nation free from fear. We want a New Haven, a Connecticut, and a nation free from fear. We want a New Haven, a Connecticut, and a nation free from violence. We want a New Haven, a Connecticut, and a nation free from ICE. And that's why we are here today. We have come together to say ICE out. From Connecticut to Minnesota, we grieve with the families of the fallen.
From Palestine to Venezuela to Iran to Nigeria to Cuba to Greenland to Chicago to LA to Minneapolis. The violence has to stop. Because all we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
We know ICE agents are ignoring due process and the rule of law when they murder people like Renee and Silverio in the streets of American cities. And we know that people are also dying in detention. The previous speakers referenced it, gave us examples. It is only January 11th, and ICE has reported that 4 people have already died in their custody just in 2026 alone. That is why we say no to the violence and the terror of the deportation machine. We are here today because we must continue to protest. Thank you, Rosa, for putting May 1st on everyone's calendar. We must continue to publicly resist. Kika said it, we know this is not normal.
It can coordinate the ones who cannot show up again until citations, probations, or warnings expire, but can train others to take a shift. The ones who cannot be in the photos but have been in the struggle, quietly resisting simply by existing. I see you, the many. The many are the reason we are still here. The many are the reason we are still fighting. The many are the reason we are still loving. The many are the reason we are still creating. The many are the reason we will win. I see you, the many. Thank you. Just a quick word. Reverend Wanwa ends with thank you, and that is what is in my heart as I turn to you. Some of you have been in this struggle a really long time, and I know you will know what I mean when I say that many times this has been lonely work. That you are here, whether just joining in or long time in the struggle, is a blessing. As I said in Hartford on Friday, we have been called to community, to action, to coming back, to the work more faithful than ever, more certain than ever that fear, while real, is best not held in isolation, but in community, where we can meet it with the power of the people, with the courage of hope we offer one another, and with the demands that come from what we sometimes call in my faith, a love beyond imagining.
But she was not the first. 36 other individuals have died by the hands of ISIS brutality. Not one more.
Not one more. Not one more. Not one more.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo. bring the frogs up front, please? Yes! Stop Trump!
Now an updated version of the Phil Ochs song Knock on the Door, sung in Northampton, Massachusetts by Ben Grosscup.
Brothers and sisters, I grew up in South Minneapolis, 15 blocks away from the site where the vicious thugs of ICE brutally executed Renee Good in an act of cold-hearted murder. Brothers and sisters, the people of Minneapolis, I know, are good-hearted people who welcome immigrants, who make a space for people fleeing their countries to find safety. But this ICE knows nothing of community, knows nothing of love. Love happens in communities. ICE tears communities apart. The song we're going to sing for you is Knock on the Door. It was written by Phil Ochs back in the 1960s, but I've updated some of the verses, and it's got a sing-along part that you'll catch on to very quickly. And if people would come up onto the sidewalk, there's a whole bunch of space up here. All I ask is that you stand close enough to your neighbor that you're able to hear your neighbor sing. Thank you so much. In many a time, in many a land, with many a gun, in many a hand, they came by the night, they came by the day, came with their guns to take us away, with a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more, with a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more, one more. Back in the days of the Roman Empire, they died by the cross and they died by the fire in the stone Colosseum. The crowd gave a roar, and it all began with a knock on the door, just a knock on the door, knock on the door. Here they come to take one more, with a knock on the door, knock on the door. Here they come to take one more, one more. The years went by and we reached modern times. The Nazis came with their Nazi war crimes. In the din of silence, where freedom had drowned, 11 million people heard the same sound of a knock on the door. Knock on the door, here they come to take one more, with a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more, one more. Now there's many new words and many new names. Uniforms have changed, but the knock is the same. The agents of ICE broadcast their raids. They're trying to make the people afraid of a knock on the door. Knock on the door, here they come to take one more, with a knock on the door, knock on the door, here they come to take one more. town. Open your eyes, see what they do when they knock for your neighbor. They're knocking for you with a knock on the door. Knock on the door. Here they come to take one more with a knock on the door. Knock on the door. Here they come to take one more. One more.
In a protest of Renee Good's murder that took place in Santa Ana, California, a young man was terribly injured by federal agents. His name is Kadin Rumler. He was shot at point-blank range with some kind of projectile and permanently blinded in one eye.